And what I'll start by doing is I'll create a new project, and it will be an empty views activity. And this is, I think I can just call it tinkering around with. We're not building anything specific, we're just trying out different things. In Android Studio we can also just try, and if it's using images, we can try and build images that you can scroll. Yeah, we can try and build anything that is that we can look into the different types of views, see how we can maybe use something like a scroll view or linear layout. Yeah, so it's just tinkering how we can maybe place a phone call, things like those. So I'll just create that project, and as it starts, I think I'll also ensure that I have started my virtual device. So let Gradle stop building. And for things such as permissions, we normally set them at the manifest Android file, and that's what we said. So what we'll start by doing, I think we can start by designing what was asked last time, and that is, if we have different activities, how can we switch between them? How can we switch between those pages or views? Because think of an activity as a view. How do you go from the login page to the home screen page? We had looked at something like that when we were implementing Firebase, and so yeah, we can try to just start with basic views, and then we just increase some views. So let's say you had the first page as the loading screen, because you normally see when you're signing up to an app, maybe an app like the My Safaricom app, when you just open it, it just displays the Safaricom logo, and then it takes sometimes sometimes it just takes time, or you have to swipe if you wanted to, and after sometimes it logs itself into the home page. And if you hadn't signed up, it tells you to configure your app with your number. So all those are different pages. If you go to the airtime window, it's also a different thing. If you go to maybe if you subscribed to fiber or base or what, they all have different pages for that. And in Android Studio, we can think of that as different activities in our app. So I don't have anything specific that we can build, but we can just try and build what was asked during the previous lesson. And what I'll do by that is I'll create another activity as it loads. So it's taking a minute, but we will be there. And so this is our project, and this is the hierarchy. Okay, this project window that you can see here, it's normally called it's the hierarchy, or mostly you can call it like that, where you normally design your user interface. We normally have the palette where you select your views, where you select the different things that you want to add to your app. That is what we call the palette. and we also have different tabs. Build, if you can click at build, here is where you will see how your app is building. Like for it to run, it has to first build the log cut. Okay, this is the log cut. This is where you can monitor anything and everything that is happening in the background of your phone. If you log into your phone, there's so much that happens behind the scenes. And now what happens behind the scenes is what you view it in the log cut. If your app crashes at some point, it will be registered in the log cut, and you'll be able to see why your app has crashed. And actually, what we can test out, maybe if we get time, is that the app that we built previously, there's something that we did not take care of, and that was making the app to crash. And it was if maybe you did not input any number in either the first number or the second number. If you did not input any number and you tried to add, the app was crashing. The app normally crashes because it is trying to get a float from nothing because you've input nothing. So such kind of things is where you maybe have to ensure that your app is you ensure first that your app is registered, or it catches all those exceptions. We normally call them as exceptions. So I'll just maximize my screen, and yeah, this is our main activity, and this is our main activity.java. So I'll open the layout file, the activity main, and the first question was how can we go from one activity to another. So the first thing that you need to do, I think I can just raise these at the top and then call this activity first activity. Okay, let's just call it first activity, or I can call it something like home activity. And we say to change the text, you can come here at the attributes window, and you can search for text. Okay, text, and it will give you all the text things that you can manipulate or change when it comes to text. And what you want to do is to change this from hello world to, what can I change it to, homepage activity. So we'll call this the homepage activity. And also we can, the text size, we can increase it to something like 40 sp. Homepage activity, awesome. And the background, we can do an image. Can we do an image? If you want your app to look beautiful, you can just be looking for images. Okay, so you can just look for an image and have it as the background. We saw how we can do that, but let's just do homepage Android image portrait. So you can just get any image from Google. I go to the images tab, Android homepage background Android, exactly. So you can see that now I can, this is the image that we used last time. So I can pick a background like this. I hope it will be portrait enough, and then when I right click, then I can say copy image, come to my Android Studio at the drawables, paste it, and as you can see, has pasted as with the word image. And now if I want to have it as my background, I can select the layout, the constraint layout. So how you can select things, you can actually select things here, the component tree. So the one that is up here is what you call the palette, and here is where you find your widgets and your views and your layouts. But if you drag something now inside your activity, it will appear here at the component tree. So if I was to drag something like a switch, you will see that it will appear here at the component tree. So that is how you can do that. And what I want to do is delete it. Is delete. And now I want to, let's see whether we can change our background just using the attributes window. So now I have selected the layout here, the component tree, and let me see whether we can have a background layout. So let me just search. Can I search for anything here? Yeah, the search is here, background. Background. Will this refer to the color? I have never tried that, but I'm sure there's a way you can do that. So instead, what I'll do, I'll just go the code way and say here. Now this is the code for the layout, and as you can see, we are using the constraint layout. If you wanted to use another layout like the relative layout, you come here, you select that, and then say relative layout. I want Android Studio to complete for me. Yeah, relative layout, and it has now changed from constraint to relative layout. It's another activity layout that I tend to find quite a number of people using, but I will use the constraint layout in this case. So let's just use the constraint layout instead. And what I want for my background, I can have both of these. And what I want for my background is background, it will be an image, drawable image, and it's the name of the image that is there that I have copied from Google. And as you can see, it's actually looking really good. Okay, it's actually looking good without even trying. So that is one of the things you can do. And what I want for my homepage activity, I think we can actually create an app where users can just scroll for some cool images or something, just anything. So we are creating things just freestyle. And so what I want to do is, now this homepage activity, it should have what? It should have a button. So I drag in my button. It should have a button, and that button, what will that button do? That button is supposed to open a new activity. So the button should open a new activity. And what will that activity be? That activity will be the wallpapers activity, or the cool images activity. When you click, you can go to the images. So I can change the text, and I think I can increase its size. Okay, yeah, so you can see it's adapting well. And what I can do is I can now change the text to something like images, button, open images, go to images. Okay, go to images, something like that. Go to images. And now what this button will do is that when this button is clicked, it will go to somewhere where we can show images, maybe a scroll view where we can actually show images. And now what that will mean is that we will now have to create another activity. And to create another activity, you just come to where your main activity class is. It's in the com.example .tinkering. This is what we called our app, and then you right click and say new, and after new you now select activity, and after activity you select the same activity that we are using, the empty views activity, and this one will be now called images activity. So you can just call it images activity and then you click on finish. And when we have done this, in the Android manifest file, it has registered this activity. So every activity also has to be registered in the Android manifest. So that is another use of the Android manifest file, to register activities. So we have our main activity and the images activity. And as you can see here, you should find that we have an activity called main activity and another activity that is called images activity. And if you were to add another one, it would automatically add to this code. So that is the good thing about using such an IDE. It will sometimes ease in your work. And now for the main activity, so now this is the images activity, and let us see what it has in the layout. The layout has called it activity images. And what we can have is a text view. I think here is where we'll now use we can use a scroll view. Okay, we can actually even the layout, we can say we won't use a constraint layout here. We can try another layout. Let's say we'll use a linear layout. Okay, we can say we'll use a linear layout. And now for the linear layout, you have to specify its orientation, whether things will be sorted horizontally or they will be sorted vertically, because that's how it works. And I think that is the error that is telling me no orientation specified exactly. So to set the orientation, you can just write orientation, and then it's either horizontal or vertical. In this case, it's a vertical one, since we'll be doing things vertically. And when you look at the design, nothing will have changed. Okay, nothing has changed at all. But now if we add a text view, things will be adding themselves vertically. So you can see that they are aligning themselves in a vertical manner. You can see they and I cannot move them to where I want. It has to align vertically. If I add another button, it will come below the button, the image. So this is now the what have we called it, the linear layout, and the orientation is vertical. So you can see that things in our layout, they are being arranged vertically, unlike constraint where we were able to place anything anywhere we wanted. After constraining it, you can place it anywhere you want, but if you try to drag this image, you can't do that, because this layout does not allow you to do that. So what we can do is we shall have those buttons, and also when you go back to the code, it has actually generated the code for you, for the text view, for the button, for the image view, all that. And yeah, so what I want is to have a text view, so I can just come here and delete this. This is just for demonstration purposes, so I can just delete that, and you can see that everything has been deleted. And a good thing about Android Studio is that you can also define views, other views inside other views, or other layouts inside other layouts. If you wanted to have another layout inside here, like relative layout, you can actually do that. Okay, so you can have another layout inside another layout. So what we'll have is a scroll view layout. So we just say scroll view, scroll. So let me just write scroll. I want Android Studio to just autocomplete for me. So scroll view, and the width is match parent. And what match parent does is, we talked about this, is that it will match your phone from start to finish, from one end to another. And also the height now, if you want it to match your phone from top to bottom, you can say match parent. But in this case, since in our scroll view is where we will place our images, we can say that we want it to wrap content. So whatever the content that you will put in your scroll view is what will be the scroll view is unnecessary. No, children, no, we'll give it children. So whatever you input in your scroll view, so because here in the scroll view is now where we will add our images, so that you can be able to scroll them. And on top here, I want to add a text view, and that text view will the layout width will be match parent, and the height will be wrap content, the same thing. And I'll give it an ID, or in this case I don't think I'll be using this text view, but it's good to give an ID. Text view. And another thing I want to give is the text. So the text will be something like scroll down to view images. Scroll down to view images, and it's telling me that I can create a string resource, and I can say I can make it bold, or the text size TS. I think if I write TS, it will be text size, and the text size will be something like 30 SP. Scroll down to view images. Awesome. And is there, I want to center it horizontally. Gravity, I think center. There's something like that. Yeah. So now if you want to center something, you can use the gravity command, or the attribute in the text view. So for you to see, let me just decrease the, you can see that it's at the center. If I wanted to make it at the start or left aligned, I can say start, and as you can see, it's here at the start. And if I want it to be at the end, I can write at the end, and it has gone to that side, but I want it at the center, and it's actually at the center. And I can change it to 30 SP, and I can also make it bold. So bold, it's what do we call it, text style. Yeah, it's the style, and then say bold. And if you also wanted to, maybe you want it as bold and italic, you can write bold, and then you write the or symbol, that, and then I don't know whether it will work, but italic, bold and italic. Okay, it's working, but I don't know why it's, oh, okay, maybe you don't have to put spaces. I think that was the problem. But as you can see, it has the words are in italics. And now what I want inside now our scroll view, because now here we are inside the scroll view. Here is where we want now our image views. So we say image view. And then We can say wrap content, wrap width, we can say match parent, and the height we wrap our image. Okay, so here is where we can have our images, and now for the image we can have our src, the source, and the source we can say it's from image, drawable image, and as you can see that is our first image and it has appeared, but this was the image from the home page. So let me just look for another image that is portrait. Android, you can say cool Android portrait images. We can just have different images. You can have something like this. So let's see if we have an image that is, but I want it to be portrait. Mobile phone, yeah. Android, cool Android portrait wallpapers. I think wallpapers will definitely be portrait, and as you can see, yeah, I am getting some portrait images. And for this I can copy this road. I say copy image and then paste it in the drawables, right click and then paste. Awesome, it has saved it as image1, so I can say here it's image_1, and as you can see our image is right over here. And I don't know whether this guy will have a problem because our XML has numbers. I think it really loves when everything is in small case, but we can try to run our app. So we can try to add other images. So this will be, I can give it an ID, Android ID, and say image1, and then to create other images we can just copy and paste. We create like maybe 3 images or 4. So another image view, the ID is image2, and let us look for another cool image. So we can say that the next image is this one, and then we right click, copy image, and then we go to our drawables, right click, paste. I think it will save as image2. Awesome. Then this one will be image2, and I don't know why. Scroll view can host only one direct child. Okay. Maybe I have messed up something in my code. So let's see, missing content description. So that is our image too. It's working well, but should it work like this? Did Android change how scroll view used to work? Okay, so I know, I think I know why. Because the scroll view, I think I know why. Let me just undo. So inside this scroll view, I think we should create another layout. This is now how it can get crazy when you just start combining layouts. Okay, so inside the scroll view, we can have now another linear layout. Okay, so linear layout, and match parent, then layout height, it will be wrap content. And now inside this linear layout is where we can have our images, and we also need to give its orientation to be vertical. So here is where we can now paste our images, and as you can see, uh, there are no errors. So for the scroll view, you also have to, I think you have to add another layout inside it. So now inside the linear layout that is inside the scroll view that is inside the linear layout is where you can now add your images. So if I, let me just be starting my phone so that we can test and see whether the images will be working. Okay, so let me see whether I can scroll. So you can see I can be able to actually scroll, and if I had another image, so let's take like two more images. uh, Two more images, so let's take an image like this one. That resolution is really big, so we copy the image and then paste it in our drawables. Right click and then we paste. It should paste as image 3. And how can we add image 3? We can do this and copy and paste and say this is not image 2 but the ID is image 3, because we say that the ID has always to be different. So image 3, then maybe a last one. Let's take the last one, the last image. Let us go for the 2/3 gender rule. The lady is image 4, and we paste our image. So what this app does is that it will actually make you be able to scroll and see images. Now you've seen how we can combine different views and layouts. Like you can see here, we have not used anything constrained. That is now the problem. If you're not using the constraint layout, you'll tend to find yourself writing so much code manually, because for constraint layout you can just drag and drop things, but if you're using these other layouts, you'll tend to find yourself writing so much code for the layout too. But it's good because it organizes your work. Yeah, I think the phone has started. So what we'll do, we'll run the app, but let me just show you something. If I run the app, there's no way we can access these images activity if I run the app. This is because we haven't written any logic to our activity main class. You recall that this class had this button that was supposed to go to the images. So we haven't written any logic for this button to go to the images activity. And that is something that you have to do. Something like button clicks, they have to be registered in the MainActivity.java file. And yeah, that is what you're going to do. And to do that, we first of all going to do the obvious stuff that we always do. You first declare your view, you find it. For the button, you set the onClickListener for the button. And then now this is where the first question that was asked will be answered, where you can open different activities from where you can open a different activity from another activity and maybe go back. So maybe actually in this activity, another idea I've gotten is between scroll down here we can have a button that can say take us back to home page. Okay, we can say back to home page, and what that will do, it will have an intent that will take us back to the actual homepage now, to the actual homepage. And you can add as many photos as you like. Uh, but another good thing that you can think of, mostly you'll tend to find that such apps, they normally store these wallpapers maybe in the cloud somewhere, where you can just access different wallpapers, and they can be updated automatically from the cloud. So that is where you would use something like Firebase storage. Okay, Firebase storage. I like this image. Copy it. So that is what you can use in Firebase to store your images remotely, such that if you are to add an image and the user now does what? The user installs your app, and when they just uh, open the app and maybe click on go to images, it can your cloud images that you had uploaded on your Firebase or whatever server that you're using, they are the ones that will be displayed. You don't have to keep adding images manually like we are doing here. So if I now click on go to images, nothing will happen because we haven't registered anything in our user interface, and that's what we'll do. So the first thing that we will do is go now to the main activity and open activity main and check out the ID of this button. And the ID of the button is button. So go back to the main activity, declare our button, and it has to tell me to import something. So I'll just write it again, button, and then you find it, and then you say button is equals to find view by ID, then r.id I think I've seen that ID as button, so it's r.id.button, and then you set the onClick listener. So you just say button.set onClick listener, then you say new view.onClick listener. So you can actually just cram this code if need be. If you can be asked something like this, you can just cram this code because it will never change. Set on click listener, then you say override public void on click view, and after that, what do we need to do now? Here is where the intents come in, and the intents, we say that they are the ones that are mostly used to transmit so much data around your Android application, and they are the ones too that help to communicate with other apps. If you wanted to create an app that will take a photo, you will actually use an intent. You'll actually use an intent to take a photo. If you want to now share that photo on WhatsApp, you'll use another intent that can share that photo from wherever it has been saved to WhatsApp to your status. So all those are intents working on the background. So you just say intent um, open open images intent is equals to new intent, and then here is where we said what do you provide first is what you call the context. So you can say where do you want to come from, or you can say get application context. So this is what you can do, and I think this will get the app class or something. Okay, but if you want to do it in a much simpler way, you can just say the name of the class you want to come from, the name of the activity you want to come from, and it's main activity dot this, because it's this object, this class. And then where do you want to go? You want to go to the images activity dot class. So which class do you want to go to? The images activity dot class. And that is it for declaring your intent. So if you're told that you have two activities named main activity and images activity, and asked how can you transition from main activity to images activity, so you say it's intent, then you name your intent. So this is the name of your intent, and now here is where the magic happens. New intent, and then you say I'm coming from this to images activity class. So I'm coming from the main activity dot this to the images activity dot class, and then you start your activity, start activity, and then you say open images intent, just like that. And also, instead of doing these two lines, okay, instead of just doing it like this, you can, there's actually another way you can do. You can just say start activity, and then you provide now this you provide now this new intent, blah blah blah, where you want to come from to where you want to go. So you say new intent, then main activity dot this to images activity dot class, just like that. So this is a simpler way of doing whatever we've done on top here. So actually, whatever we've done on top here, it's not necessary. It's the alternative of doing this. So you can just do this. Say start activity, new intent, main activity dot this, and then images activity dot class. But the initial way, or what most people use, is the first way. So I think I can just comment it out and leave it here. So I can just comment it out. And now what this will do is that our app has now been updated. If I run the app, when I press go to images, now when I press, nothing is happening. But if I update my app and then press go to images, now we can be able to go to the other images activity, where we can now view our images. So let's see whether it will work. And it should be opening, and it has opened. And now what you expect is that when I click go to images, it should go to the other activity. And as you can see, we can now go to the other activity, and now we can scroll. And this is because in this activity we are using a scroll view. And as you can see, these are our images, and these are the images that we added. So if you wanted to create an app that maybe has photos of maybe someone special, you can just do that. Very simple. You can do that, and yeah, just do anything. You can add anything that you wanted. Something like let's say, okay, today let's create a an app where if you click on the image, a text appears. Okay, something like maybe this was someone special, and when you click the image, some text is supposed to appear up here or down here. okay, and say this is my special message to you today, happy girlfriend's day, okay, something like that. So let us actually just create something like that. It's just an idea that has come to mind. And how we could do something like that is we can go back to our layout. Where is our layout? It's called activity images. So the one that was asking how we can shift between activities, this is what we normally do. We normally use intents. We normally use intents to do this. And let's go to the activity images, and here is where we will add. I think we can get rid of we can use just maybe 2 images or 3. So you can get rid of the second image. This is the first one. So you can get rid of the second image, and then we can have maybe just those 3 images. And what we want to do is when we scroll down, and then the user, when the user presses on this image, if you press on this image, it should display a text up here. It should display a text up here or down there that says, let me see, layout height is what? Layout height and the Android image view, layout height, wrap content with much parent. Okay. So when the user presses, let me see, or when I say this one is much parent, yeah, I think it's actually replacing all the other images. So let me see. So I just want to see how the images react when I change the word. So let me just return it to whatever it was. It was much parent. It was wrap content. Yeah. So what we want now is when you click on the last image, a text appears down here and says this is my message to you, blah blah blah. So you can include a text view where you will display that message and say Android width, it will be much parent, so it should extend to the left to right of the screen, and then wrap content text view, and then we can give it an ID and say this is ID secret text view. You can say it's called the secret text view. So secret text view, and let us just test it out with the text and see how it will look. Hey, how are you? This is my secret message to you. So let's see how it looks. Can I scroll this layout? So it's at the bottom. It's at the bottom. But initially we don't want it to have. You can see it's actually not that large enough. So we can increase the font size and say that the font size, text size, is something like 25 sp. And yeah, hey, this is my secret message to you. I think we can also make it bold. Text, not test. Text style will be bold. Bold. Hey, how are you? This is my secret message to you. Happy girlfriend's day. Friend's day. I wish very best. Let's see whether it's adapting everything. Oh, awesome, yeah. So yeah, this is our text, but what we need is that we need this text to be blank at first. So we just need it to be blank. So we just get rid of it, and as you can see that there's no text. And now what we need to do is that maybe when the user presses the image, so when the user presses this image 4, the text view that is down there, it now displays that message. Okay, it now displays that message. And let us see how we can do that. So how we can accomplish that is we go back to our main activity or our images activity and then write that logic. And how can we write that logic? It's very simple. The same way we just do for button. Even image views, they have the on-click listeners. So you just set an on-click listener to our image, and then when the image is clicked, we just set the text to our text view. So that is what we can do. And to do that, we just go back to the images and images activity. Now this is another activity. So remember that the other code that was opening, this was the code that is to open our images, images activity, and we have written that code in the main activity. Now we are writing our code in the images activity because that image is found in the activity images, and activity images is tied to images activity. So we have to write our code here, and we have our image. So we say image view girl image view, and we need to find it. So you just say girl image view is equals to find view by id, and then r dot, it's capital R dot id dot. Now look at the id of that image. Its id id of the image is image 4. So we call it dot image 4, and then we close. And also, where do we need to set our text? We need to set our text to this text view that was at the bottom here. So we also need an access to this text view, and its ID is secret text view. So you come back and say another text view, then secret text view. You can name it whatever you want, but the ID has to be exactly secret text view is equals to find view by ID, and then r dot id dot secret text view, and that will get the ID of our text view. There's no problem, even if you see those errors or lines, as long as you've written your code perfectly and the ID is perfect and it matches to the secret text view or whatever text view that you have, it should be okay. It should be perfectly fine. And I think I can stop. And what I now need to do is to set an on-click listener to our image. So you say girl image view dot set on click listener. The same thing, new view dot on click listener. So it's not just for buttons that you can do this. You see that I have done it for an image, and when the image is clicked, now I want to set a message to the secret text view. So you say secret text view dot set text, and then you now set the text that you now wanted. Hey there, how are you? This is my secret message to you. I want to wish you a happy Girlfriend's Day. All the best and enjoy. So that is our secret message to whoever we want to send the app with, the app to. And I think that is just it. And when we run our app, it now should work like that. So let me just stop it. Do I just stop it or rerun? I think I can just rerun it. So let me rerun the app. I hope we haven't missed anything. I hope we haven't missed anything. And how it works now is that if I click on the last image, if I click on the other images, nothing is supposed to happen because what? Because we haven't set any listeners for the other images. And let us see. It's launching on the device, and it should be opening anytime from now. So here is where it has installed successfully and it's now opening. So let us see whether our secret message will be displayed. Our secret message will be displayed. Okay. Let's go to the home page. And as you can see, we can still scroll our images. And I'm just scrolling and you can see that there is nothing that is appearing. But if I click on this image, something should appear down here. So let us try. So I haven't clicked yet, but I want to show you that the scroll view is working perfectly. So now if I do this and then click on this special message, you can see that I have clicked on the button and now the text appears down here and it says, "Hey there, how are you? This is my secret message to you. I want to wish you a happy GF's Day and all the best and enjoy." So these are some of the things that you can do. Just creating anything that you want, anything that you can actually imagine. So you can add so many things that you would want. Something like you can add a toast. Maybe let's say if you click on this first image, you want to display a toast down here. And if you want to do something like that, you just come back to the first image. So you come back to the first image. Where is activity images? The first image is defined as image1. Okay, the ID is image1. So when we go back to the our main activity, we can say image view image image1. Okay, image1. I can just call it image1, whatever you want to do. Image1, and then you just find it, and then image1, you say image1 is equals to find view by id, then r.id dot image. I think it was image1. Yeah, exactly. So image1, and then you set now a non-click listener for it too. Then you say image1 dot set on click listener, and then new view dot on click. So you just write v and it will auto generate the code for you. And after that, what do we want to do when the image1 is clicked? We want to show a toast. We say so we just say toast dot make text, and what you provide, the first thing is the context. So the context is what you say get application context, and we say that this get application context you can actually replace it with, okay, let me just write. So you first get the context, then you write comma, and then what message do you want that toast to display? So the toast is the little notification that appears down here, and it should display cool. This is a cool road. This is a cool road, because I think image 1 was for just a road. So let's see. Yeah, it's a cool road. This is a cool road. And then you write comma. For how long do you want to display it? Is it so you just write long or short? And when you when you have it as long, you can see its length long, and you can say short, and it will be length short. Okay, it has to be capital short. It has there's a just write length. When you just write length, it should be length long or length short. So let's say it will be length long, and then outside the brackets is now where you say dot show. That is how you normally display a text. This is how you normally display a text. So this is just one line. It's just that I have pressed enter to take this to the next line. And where we have this get application context, here is where you can change with the name of the class that you are in. So in this case, we are in the images activity dot this. So you can say images activity dot this, and I don't think that is a problem. Yeah, and it's actually working too. So you can just write it like this, or you just say get application context, just like that. And when we rerun this up, when we click on this first image, it should display this is a cool road down here. So I can maybe zoom in so that you can be able to see well. You can zoom in. So let me just zoom in up, and when I click on the first button, go to images, it should take me to the images, and then when I click on this first image, it should display a toast. Exactly, so the toast is what you see down here. So let me just show you. So this is the zoomed in version, and when I click on the image, you can see that it's saying a toast that this is a cool road. This is a cool road, and that is how you can do what you can create a toast, or that is how you can also set what do we call them, on click listeners to our images, and still our message that, so if I scroll, because you recall that this is a scroll view, so if I scroll and click this image, you can see that my scroll has ended and there is no text down here. But if I click on this image, hey there, you can see that this message is appearing. Also, if you wanted a message to appear here at the second image, just like the water I flow, something like that. So if you wanted, when the second image is clicked and it displays a text view, you just go back to your layout and go back to the second image. This was the second image, and we want that text view to appear just above the second image. So you can come here and say text view. So text view, I want Android Studio to just generate it for me. Then match width to match the size of the font, and then the height to wrap the content. And how about the ID? So you just say ID, and then Android ID secret message 2. So we can call it ID secret message 2. And then the text size will be something like whatever we have used for the other one, it will be 25. And we can also make it bold. Text style, we can also make it bold. And 25, we have to provide the dimensions, which are SP. And there's no text, we won't give it any text, because we will give it a text when we click on this ID. In this case, it's called image3. So we go back to the images activity, and whatever we've done for the other image, you can just do it for this image 1. This one is image 2, so image view image 2, and we say image 2 is equals to find view by ID, and then r.id dot image. Image 2 was ID image 3. Okay, this is because the ID is what matters here. So the ID of the second image, this is the first image. The reason why this is like this is because there was an image that we deleted. The image 2, we had deleted it. So it's okay. All that matters is that the ID has to be exactly what is defined here. And after doing that, we can add an onClick listener to it. So you just say image3 dot set on. Is it image 3? There's no image. Image 2 dot set on click listener, then new view dot on click listener. Okay, it's not like that. So you just say new view VIE dot on click. Now that one, that will generate the bulky code. And after this is clicked, what do we want to display is the text view. So we need to also find the text view that we have declared here, the images. What is the name of the text view? Secret message 2. So text view secret message. So you need to have secret message 2. So you say text view secret message 2. And then you say secret message 2, you find it. Message 2 is equals to find view by ID, then r.id dot secret message 2. That is our ID. Then now after clicking on the image 2, you say secret message 2 dot set text. So these are the functions that you should be knowing. When you want to get a text, we say edit text dot get text, whatever the edit text that you have. If you want to set a text, you say text view dot set the text. And what text do we set here? Just like the water, I flow. Just like the water, I flow flawlessly. I hope it's a good pickup line. So just like the water, I flow flawlessly. And when we rerun our app, let's see whether that will be achieved. Let's see whether that will be achieved. So just like the water, I flow flawlessly. And yeah, so that is how you can create something. And I think also what we can try to how you can maybe share. So let it first launch. So I don't want to open any desk. So this is the homepage activity. This is the homepage activity. And when we click go to images, it should go to the other activity. And the reason why it's like this is because I have zoomed in so much. And now when we click on the first image, remember this was displaying a toast. This is a cool road. And when I click on this image, the second image, it was to display just like the water, I flow flawlessly. You can see when I click it, it has displayed just like the water, I flow flawlessly. So, and then when we click on this last image, it should display, hey there, how are you? This is my secret message, blah, 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 all that. So this is how you can actually create something if it's an app or whatever you want. And as you can see here, we've used a different scroll or different layouts. We've used different views. So these are some of the different ways you can use to design your app. So we can try, I think, as one of the last things, and another intent, but now this intent will be used to open the dialer on your phone. Okay, we can try to use an intent that can open a dialer. And to do that, I think in the activity main, we can add a button that can dial. So go to dialer and display my number or something. So we can add a button that can go to the dialer. So let's constrain it the way we were saying. You can constrain it from here to here. Let me also constrain it here, so that it can be at the center. And the text at the button, I think I can change the text to what? I can change the text to dialer. So you can see that the text is called dialer. And when this button is pressed, what we want to do is that we want to go to our phone app. Okay. And how we can do that is go back to the main activity and declare that button. So you say button dialer button, and you find it. So you say dialer button is equals to find view by id, and then r.id dot, I think it's button 2. I have seen its id. Yeah, its id is supposed to be button 2. So dialer, if we go to, yeah, you can see that the id is button 2. And what you need to do is just dot button 2. Are you happy now, Android Studio? No, you're not. But when it has such errors, when it builds, it should fix them, as long as you've written everything perfectly. So now for the button 2, we need to also add it listener. So you say dialer button dot set on click listener new view dot on click listener. And here is also where we use another intent. So you just say intent. Haven't I used another intent? Sorry about that. So you say intent go to dialer is equals to new intent, and then you provide the context. So you say get application context, then you give the action. What do you want to do? I think we can look for it in the documentation. So you just how you can code using the documentation, like how we were using the Firebase documentation. It's just simple. Okay, it's just simple. You just come to you can search for Android Studio documentation on dialer intent dialer, how to open dialer through intent. And it's just simple. You just say intent dot action dial. So that is how you can open the dialer. And then so for the dialer, you can say think you can just say intent action get application content action intent dot action dial. So here you say intent dot dial action dial, and then intent dot action dial. Then after that you can provide the URI. Okay, there's something we normally call the URI, and the URI is where you can, maybe in this case you can use it for different things. In this case you can store your phone number. You can specify your phone number such that if you want users to connect to you, you can create a URI where you give it your phone number. So you just say URI phone number is equals to, then you say URI dot pass. Okay, then what do you pass? You can say something like tell, and then you have to have those full colon, and you just give your phone number, something like 07 12 3 45 6 78. Okay, 07 12 3 45. So that is just 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this is how you can do that, and then you provide the what do we call it, the phone number here at the last. Phone number, will it work? I think could be, maybe it just wants us to, yeah, it doesn't want the application context. So whatever you want, we give you. So then we start start activity. Is it start activity? Yeah, the same way that we did here, start activity. Then you say go to dialer, go to dialer. I had written it wrongly at the naming there. So let us see whether it will be able to open our dialer using my number. And that is after the first button has been clicked. That is the, so you've seen how we can do this. So now if the button is clicked, we should be able to go to the dialer and for it to paste our number or something. So let us see. It is launching on the device. It's launching, so come on. Launching. So you can see we have a new button, the button dialer, and when you click go to images, it does with our original logic, and you can see nothing is displaying. But when I click our girl here, it's displaying, hey there, how are you, blah blah blah. When I click this second image button, it should display a message up there, just like the water. I flow flawlessly. And when I click this first image, it should display a toast. So this is a cool road. So this is just a session to show you how you can combine different Android features to maybe create something. So what I'll do, I'll go back, and when I click on the dialer, let us see whether it will work. Yeah, and actually you can see it's going to, it's actually going to the dialer, and it has actually input my number, the number that I have provided over here, okay. So this is a and this is an example of what we normally call uh, inclusive and exclusive intents. Yeah, inclusive and exclusive intents. So when we are dealing especially with things in the same app, like here we are opening activities, it's happening on the same app. Those are exclusive intents. And when we are dealing with other apps, like in this case we are saying intent action dial, so it will look for the dialer app and input the phone number that you have given here with the URI. So this is what we call the inclusive intents. They have many differences though. So inclusive and exclusive, oh my, intents. Inclusive and exclusive intents. So let's see difference between okay, implicit. Yeah, I was actually, it's not inclusive, it's implicit and explicit. I don't know why I was confusing with inclusive and exclusive. It's normally the implicit intent and explicit intents. And you can see that important things, blah blah blah, action view, URI. So let us just see implicit intents. They don't specify the components, such as blah blah blah. You write implicit. So let me just give you the example. Specifies the blah 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 external class, exactly. So this is exclusive intent. So whatever we have done here, from main activity to images activity, so this is what we call an explicit. I don't know why I keep confusing explicit and exclusive. It's called an explicit intent because it specifies the component where you're going to. In this case, we are going to the images activity.class, and you'll tend to find that explicit intents mostly happen within the app, within your app. But now if you actually did such an implicit intent, so now this is what we call an implicit intent. It does not specify which app to use. Okay, it doesn't specify what should handle this action dial, because your phone app can handle the action dial. Truecaller can also handle this action dial, and these are external apps. Okay, these are external apps, and when this was run, if you had Truecaller installed, it would actually ask you, do you want to open this using the dialer, or do you want to open it using Truecaller? The same way when you take a photo and then you click share, so many apps appear there for you. You can share it on WhatsApp, you can share it on email, you can share it on Instagram, Facebook. So all those are what we call implicit intents. Okay, implicit in text. So in this case, they have showed an example of how you can open a number on our website. So you see they are using URI.pass, and then they are giving the website, there. Okay, so that is that. Mostly the implicit intents, they happen outside of our app. Like in this case, I have created this logic where when I click on this app, it takes me to the dialer and inserts my number there, and I can be able to call, but that calling would happen in your real device because this is an emulator. You have no SIM card here, but it should work perfectly on your mobile phone, or when you do what, when you build this app and run the APK and install it on your phones. So that is how you can actually do this. And actually you can use such an intent to maybe create an intent that can contact you on WhatsApp. So how can you do that? It's actually really simple. If you wanted someone to contact you on WhatsApp, if you wanted someone to call you, here you just create that button, and then here you put your number and the person will be able to call you. And if you wanted them to maybe contact you on WhatsApp, you normally see some people who have click here to contact me on WhatsApp or something. It's just simple to do that. So here you can come to the activity main, then you add another button, you say contact me on WhatsApp. So you just right click, you just drag your button, and you constrain it on the left and then on the right, and then at the top, and the text will be contact me on WhatsApp. So let me just go to the text. So I can just right click here and then say go to XML, and then this button I'll say contact me on WhatsApp. Contact me on WhatsApp. And what this button will do, when clicked, it should contact me on WhatsApp. And what is its ID? What's the ID of that button? It's button 3. So I can say button contact me on WhatsApp. So where is it? Dialer button. Then you say button WhatsApp button, and then it was button 3, the ID. WhatsApp button is equals to find view by ID, and then r.id dot button 3, and then you do that, and then you set an on-click listener to our button. So WhatsApp button is equals to not is equals to dot set on-click listener new view dot on-click listener. And then now here is where you now do that intent to open WhatsApp. Okay, so you can copy these, and then you replace whatever the code here, whatever the code is here, URI.pass HTTPS. Why is it not working as required? I think they were using the wrong double quotes. So you can see that this is opening a new intent. So intent is equals to new intent, then intent dot action view. Here we are using action view, here we are using action dial, and the others too. These ones are now what we call implicit intents. And for you to get your local WhatsApp link, your local contact WhatsApp link, so you can just say contact WhatsApp link format. So you can see get your own link. So to get your own link, you just say HTTPS WA / so this is a link unique to you when you input your number there, so you can replace that link here and say whatsapp.me, and then you just give your number. Like in my case, it's a number like 0710267449. Okay, I have given a wrong last number, but it's 490 if anyone wants to click that button and contact. Okay, so when you do that, it should go to it's supposed to go to your chat on WhatsApp. So let's run and see how it is like. So it's building, and I think we can get rid of the other one that was there. So it's already launching even before I discarded it. So launching on device. So let's see whether this will work. Whether the URL to contact me on WhatsApp will actually work. Launching. It's taking a minute to launch, but it's because it has to install first, because you can see install successfully. 39 seconds. So let us see how this guy works now. And it has launched. And after launching, what can we do? We can contact me on WhatsApp. So you can see our button is there. Our previous logic, it's working all perfectly. It should open our images. So when I click on this, our toast should display. This is a cool road. When I click on our girl here, she should the message should appear at the bottom. When I click on this second image here, a message should also appear. So that means everything is working as expected. And when I click on dialer, it should open the dialer on my phone and actually paste that number that I had provided, the 0712 whatever. And when I go back to my app, because this is now the dialer app, so let me just go back to the app. So let's see whether contact me on WhatsApp will work. Contact me on WhatsApp. So couldn't look because it's either missing a country code. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. So you have to use the country code. So that is the problem. You don't write here 07. That is so ghetto. So you just say +254. +254. That is the country code. And now if I rerun the app, we should see that it should now work perfectly. It should work perfectly and be able to go. It should now launch our app perfectly. So let us see. The app is running, and can just open it because this is just opening from WhatsApp. So let's see whether it will be able to contact me on WhatsApp. Our app is called Tinkering. And when you now click contact me on WhatsApp, it should be able to look for that number and go straight to the inbox. Searching inbox, it should now go to the inbox. So it's opening up. I think it's because the emulator is just taking too much memory, and as you can see, it has gone to the inbox, and this is actually the number. This is actually my other number now. This is my other number. So I just wanted you to see that it's actually the number itself. So here is where you can, if you wanted to create a contact me on WhatsApp thingy, this is where you would input your number, and it will go straight directly to your inbox. So yeah, that's about it, and that's what you can do. Those are just tinkering around with just some features in Android that we can use. There's so much. There's so much that we can do. If you wanted it to speak, if you wanted it to open a song, play a song, media, anything, you can just do anything that you actually want when it comes to Android, because you have so many things at your disposal. And as you can see, I have clicked and it's actually coming to my number, and if I can click on the profile, you'll see it's the exact same number that I have provided here, plus 254710267 490. So that is the number, and you can see that we've just used an intent, and that just shows you how powerful intents are and their different use cases. So when you are going to separate apps or apps that have not been specified, those are what we call implicit intents. And when we are on the same app or when we are changing activities, that's what we call explicit intent. Explicit and implicit intents. So yeah, that's about it. That's about it with our app. Yes, those are some of the things that you can do. If you wanted to create an app for someone just to surprise them, you can actually do that if you wanted, and insert pictures and build it. And I showed you how to build an app, and for you to build, you just go to the build and you generate an APK, and after generating an APK is when you can send that APK to them and they can be able to install. So you just go to the build and then you say build APKs, and it will now build your APK with everything such a way that anyone can install your app. So it's actually building. So now maybe if there are any questions, the one that was asking about how we can do all that intents, we've covered quite a lot on that. And yeah, this is the APK actually. So what is it? Let me see, I can rename it to something like Android features something. Can rename it to Android features, and I'll actually share the app with you. I don't know whether they normally install. Do these apps install? Because sometimes they can have a problem because I am not using a Windows operating system, and sometimes I tend to see it could have a problem. But I hope if I can send the app to you, it should install. I hope it can install. So anyway, do we have a question? I'll be sharing the app with you guys. Do we have a question? there are any questions, you can just forward them to the chat. If not, the recording will be available such that if you want to just build something similar or build anything else that you want, you will actually be able to do that. Okay, so that's about it. I'll share the APK with you, and also for the first lesson too. The link was shared. I'll share everything, the APK for the first lesson and also for the one that we have created right now. And that's about it. And thank you for tuning in.